Senator Mehreen Faruqi. Just listen to this fucking unbridled claptrap.
This crisis has brought into focus how capitalism has not and fundamentally cannot build a just and decent life for all. The no-holds-barred system of profit and wealth accumulation at the expense of people and the planet has made workers and all ordinary people vulnerable to health.
First of all, capitalism has managed to drag about 1 billion people out of abject poverty into the glorious world of fucking Cheetos and Mountain Dew in the last 20 years. One crisis doesn't mean capitalism is a fucking failure. Or to think of it in a logical, sensible manner, 99 out of every 100 people have got a decent life and can feed themselves, especially in the Western world. Just because one guy turns up who is failing doesn't mean it's a failure. Completely. The existence of homeless, crusty, shit-covered tramps doesn't mean that the entire capitalist system is a failure. Just for openers.
And economic consequences of the coronavirus. The reality of capitalism's failure to care for people and communities is rendered so stark by this crisis that even the Liberals' stimulus package amounts to tacit acknowledgement of the truth that economies stand on the backs of workers, not cashed-up CEOs. It has exposed the horrific consequences of governments around the world rabidly adhering to the neoliberal dogma of privatization and small government that has led to the erosion of services and healthcare.
Secondly, a crisis isn't an excuse to get rid of a small government approach to life. Just because there's a fucking epidemic all of a sudden doesn't mean I want to live in an authoritarian fucking dictatorship. And these dopey cunts like fucking Mehreen Faruqi, a large amount of them are clearly from an originally Islamic country. They don't believe the shit they're spouting. She does not believe it because she's in fucking New Zealand or Australia, wherever the fuck she is. I haven't even looked into it. She's there and she isn't in wherever a mum or her grandparents came from. They don't believe it. They are fucking desperate. That's not hyperbole. They are fucking desperate to get into Australia, to get into New Zealand, to get into England and Canada and America, all of the Anglosphere, the places that Western civilization, the founders of fucking liberalism, all of those places, everyone in the entire world is trying to get into. That's not hyperbole, that is a fucking fact. And if some cringing, self-loathing lefty wants to argue with me in the comments, fucking do it. It's a fact. Yeah, we've got our problems, but they are desperate to come here. Look at the Chinese flooding into fucking Australia and New Zealand lately. I walked around Sydney and it was like being in fucking Beijing. It was unbelievable. They are desperate to come here, and especially from the Muslim world. So fucking Mehreen Faruqi is talking shit that she doesn't believe herself. Or she'd go, you know what, this capitalist country's evil. I'm fucking off to Dubai or Saudi Arabia or Iran or Pakistan or Bangladesh or anywhere else that her fucking mum or her grandparents came from. Right? She's clearly from somewhere else in the last century. So if she believed all this shit, she'd have gone back there. Why hasn't she? Well, I'll tell you why. Because she's got a fucking head full of cow shit and she doesn't believe a single word she's saying.
So many right now. Our economy has worked for the benefit of big businesses and their profits for far too long. The test today is whether the package before us finally puts people, planet, and the community ahead of profits. Vulnerable and at-risk people must be at the center of everything we do in these crucial months.
I'll tell you who's at risk. All the women in Iran with a fucking sack over their head, getting forced to walk around in the middle of summer with a bin liner over the fucking bonds. They're at risk. Go and talk about them. Mehreen. Let's have a look where she's from anyway. Yeah, Australian politician, New South Wales. Fucking born in Pakistan. There you go. So she wasn't even born in Australia. I assumed her parents were born or her grandparents. So she's from Lahore in Pakistan. Well, I'll tell this Lahore to fuck off to Lahore if you don't like it. I'm sure there's fucking millions of people who were born in Pakistan who are currently living in the West who fucking love it. They're going to the titty bars, they're going to the water parks, they're getting pissed up, they're enjoying fucking life. One of my mates, Atif, from Middlesbrough, he was a fucking borough lad. His mum and dad were born in Pakistan, but he wasn't. And he's one of them people that they love pointing at the lefties and saying, oh, look at him, he's a good Muslim. But he's not a Muslim. You're just being racist and claiming him as one of them. So you can try and duke the statistics and make really devout Muslims look better. Atif was born in Middlesbrough to Muslim mother and father, and they tried to push him into an arranged marriage, and he wasn't fucking interested, and he said, screw you losers, I'm going to Thailand to get conquer deep in a large amount of prostitutes, get shit-faced and watch the football and enjoy my life. They're not Muslims. Islam is an ideology, and your mum and dad can both have been born in Pakistan. You can be fucking born in Pakistan, but if you come to England and you say, you know what, I love British culture and liberalism and the Queen and fucking tea and crumpets, you're not a Muslim, you've turned your back on all that shit, and they want to claim them pleasant agnostic atheists or even Christians that might convert. They want to claim them and say, oh, look how good Muslims are. That's, you're just seeing the colour of their skin and going, oh yeah, I'll claim you for my team. It's fucking ridiculous on the face of it. But that's what annoys me. These fucking people come from these places, law, and then talk shit about Australia. Liberal, pleasant Australia. Would you be allowed to walk around like that, Mehreen, if you were in Iran? No, you wouldn't, because you've got a state-mandated headdress. So you're talking shit about the West. We both know you don't believe any of it. You don't believe any of it. And as a side note, why are they always fucking howling? Look at the clip of her. So yeah, bollocks. Doesn't believe a word of it. Mehreen, you are talking fucking nonsense. You don't believe this shit yourself. Capitalism has brought unbridled wealth and prosperity and freedom to the masses. And you know it and I know it. So shut your fucking yap.